Let's talk about failure. Many people write to me and they say, John, I'm afraid to fail. I want to do my big five for life. I want to fulfill my PFE. That is definitely the lifestyle that I want to live, but I'm so afraid to fail that I'm afraid to get started. And I can totally relate to this. This is something that I went through, something that I dealt with at many different phases of my life. For people that know my story, they would look at my life and be like, I don't get that. Things seem okay. You seem to be functioning all right. And what do you mean you're afraid to fail? But I had a very powerful experience when I was a kid. And because of that experience, I learned to live my life operating between success and failure. So I had a fear of success and a fear of failure, which is, beyond ridiculous when I look at it now. Nonetheless, that is my reality. And as I've shared this on platforms before, and I've had so many people come up to me afterwards that have been operating in those same two spectrums, I know that I'm not alone in this. And what happens is when you're operating between a fear of success and a fear of failure, you only do the things that you know you'll be good at. And you only do them up until the point where you might fail. Well, the problem with this is when you're pushing from good to spectacular in something, when you're really challenging yourself, you are going to fail. You cannot push yourself to these tremendous levels of success unless you try something that you've never tried before. And when you try new stuff, every once in a while, you're going to fall flat on your face. It's the way that you approach failure that determines whether or not you are okay with it. I consider failure to be just a normal part of the process now. If I'm not falling flat on my face in something every once in a while, I don't feel like I'm pushing the envelope far enough. I don't feel like I'm challenging myself enough. And so when I fail now, I just say, oh, great. I learned that. I won't do that again. But better to have learned that than to never know it. And so once you've learned it, you can not make that same mistake again. But if you haven't given yourself the chance to make the mistake, you're perpetually living in fear of making the mistake because you don't know what the outcome is on the other side of it. Better to try it, screw it up, fail it, learn from it, and not do it again than to constantly live in fear of failure. Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player ever to play the game of sports. His lifetime shooting average is right around 50%. That means he missed as many shots as he made. He failed as many times as he succeeded. If you take that approach in your life, every great entrepreneur, every great business person, every great actor, they have pushed themselves to do something new. And they have been comfortable with the idea that if I fail along the way, I'll learn what I need to learn, and I'll just keep going. Failure only stops you at one time. It only stops you if you give up at the moment of failure. So if you fall, if you fail, you just dust yourself off, learn from the experience, and you continue on.